Hello friend, welcome back to my channel. God bless you. For the news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Tori and Zach Roloff's house was destroyed by a huge fire earlier today. A family did not leave unharmed, but they did flee with their lives. We have verified that their home and everything within it, including $220,000 in cash that was stored on the premises, were destroyed in the fire. Zach is the most tragic of all. Now, Roloff is fighting for his life. He had 40% of his body burned and was taken to a burn hospital in the Portland region with serious injuries. No family should ever have to endure this tale. We're not going to speculate. Our objective is to reconstruct the chronology of this terrible incident, comprehend what transpired, and, above all, concentrate on the human tale at its core. A young family whose entire world has been completely turned upside down. In order to comprehend the severity of this tragedy, we must start by going back to the start of the day. For the Roloffs, this morning began like any other. At their home in Battleground, Washington, it was a normal, calm morning. They created a haven for their kids away from the spotlight, a house they had put their souls into. As a former teacher, Tori was probably handling the lovely chaos of feeding and dressing 3 children under 7. It's possible that Zach, who left the family business to pursue his own career, was working on the property or organizing his day. The kids were just being kids, naive and innocent. Jackson, the considerate big brother, Lila, who was full of sass and personality, and baby Joa, whose first steps we all cheered. However, normalcy can vanish in a moment. The garage area is thought to have been the first indication of problems. Like many family garages, this one held not only cars but also memories, holiday decorations, and, as we now know, a significant portion of the family's wealth. The precise reason is, the Clark County Fire Marshal is looking into it. Early conjecture suggests an electrical issue, possibly with the wiring or an appliance. It's a threat that goes unnoticed in millions of households until it's too late. Reconstructions that are dramatic but elegant. Use of stock film showing smoke gradually increasing and eventually getting stronger. Crackling starts out gently and gets louder. The family's privacy is respected by not showing any horrific footage of the actual fire. The first puff of smoke would have been subtly. First a cloud, then a scent. The first breath of smoke is pure, unadulterated dread in a household with little children. We know this because Tori called 911 at around 10:17 a.m. The fire spread at an alarming rate during Pacific time. Getting her kids to safety was Tori's first and only instinct. She became the protagonist of this tale at that very moment. Grasping tiny Joa and snatching Jackson and Lila, she was able to lead them across the yard to safety and out of the home. The kids are said to be physically unhurt, which is a miracle in and of itself, but they were definitely frightened by what they heard and saw. However, either a fatal occurrence occurred or a snap decision was made during that tumultuous, terrifying departure. Zach showed amazing bravery and possibly a last-ditch effort to save something as Tori pulled the kids out. Perhaps the money or treasured objects were returned. The precise reason he returned to the path of the fire may never be known. The structural or flashover. It is thought that collapse happened at that same moment. The room Zach had just returned to was engulfed in flames as a result of the oxygen in the house feeding the fire. The entire garage roof turned into a ball of fire, and neighbors claim to have heard a whoosh sound. Responders from Battleground Fire District 11 arrived on the scene in a matter of minutes. Minutes are lifetimes in a fire, however. The house had already been completely destroyed when the first engine arrived due to a fully involved structure fire. There. The goal instantly changed from protecting the house to finding and saving life. Tori was able to guide teams to the location where she last saw Zach from her safe haven with the kids. Zach Roloff was found inside the house, close to a rear entry, by firefighters despite the intense heat and hazardous conditions. He had been badly burned and was unconscious. It was instantly clear that he was seriously injured. Approximately 40% of his body was burned. Medically speaking, this is disastrous and potentially fatal harm. The body's main line of defense against infection is the skin, which is the biggest organ. There is an extremely high risk of sepsis, organ failure, and shock when 40% of that barrier is damaged. To learn more about Zach's future, we spoke with a burn specialist. This degree of injury necessitates extensive fluid resuscitation to avoid shock from the body's overwhelming inflammatory reaction, intubation to preserve the airways, and rapid advanced life support. The choice was made in a matter of seconds, considering the seriousness of his situation. Zach refused to ride in an ambulance. He was airlifted to the Oregon Burn Center at Legacy Emanuel Medical Center in Portland, one of the best burn treatment centers in the region, by a life flight helicopter. His first and most important battle was this one: the struggle for the next few hours of life. The actual extent of the devastation became evident when the fire was contained. The house was completely destroyed. Everything, each and every item of clothing, toy, and furniture that had a memory attached to it was gone, converted to ash and twisted metal, along with the photo album and every child's drawing that was affixed to the refrigerator. Then there was the destruction of finances. A family member has verified to us that Tori and Zach had about $220,000 in cash in a safe inside the house. This was not a petty choice. Many viewers of the show are aware that Zach and Tori have been fiercely independent, creating their own identities and exists independently of the Roloff farm. Their life's labor, their safety net, and maybe the seed money for future aspirations were all symbolized by this money. Maybe investments for their children's future or the down payment on a new home. The tremendous heat of a protracted structure fire was too strong for the safe, which was meant to prevent theft. The cash within was burned, utterly annihilated. Imagine losing your house, everything you own, and everything you own in a single morning. Saves in money. The father of your children, your boyfriend, is also fighting for his life in a hospital. The weight of that alone is unfathomable. The loss, the terror, the complete hopelessness. Nobody should have to bear that load. In unthinkable crises, family becomes your bulwark. We know that one of the initial calls was to Zach's mother, Amy Roloff. In order to be with Tori and the kids, she and Matt Roloff hurried to the scene right away and then to the hospital. Audrey Roloff and Jeremy as well as the mobilization of Jacob and Isabel. The Roloff family has closed ranks despite their long history of disputes and disagreements. Supporting Zach, Tori, and those 3 frightened kids is their only priority. At the moment, the kids are staying with their grandparents. They're secure. They're confused, but they're loved. How do you explain to a 5-year-old that his father is very, very ill and that his house is gone? The psychological effects on these young people are the secondary tragedy that is developing. Souls. Only a few hours earlier, a family spokesperson issued a statement. The Roloff family is grateful for the love and prayers that have been sent our way during this extremely trying time. Our only focus is on Zap's recovery and helping Tori and the kids. We ask for your privacy while we deal with this tragedy and will provide updates when necessary. Please keep Zach in your thoughts. Now, we have to talk about Zach's fight. His admission to the Oregon Burn Center is the beginning of His body is in a state of extreme trauma, and doctors will be working around the clock to stabilize him. This includes managing fluids, pumping massive amounts of 4 fluids to prevent his organs from shutting down, fighting infection, and being in a sterile environment. His raw exposed tissue is vulnerable to every bacteria and virus. He is on a ventilator, a machine that breathes for him. The first 72 hours are the most crucial of a medical marathon that will last months, if not years. The next step is surgery. Dozens of them. Surgeons will carefully remove the dead, burned tissue, a procedure known as debridement, and then proceed with the excruciating process of skin grafting, which involves taking healthy skin from unburned parts of his body and using it to protect his airways from swelling shut and give his body time to rest. Pain management. The pain from severe burns is one of the most intense types of pain a human can experience. He will be heavily sedated. Graft it onto the damaged areas. This is where Zach's dwarfism adds a complex layer to his care. His respiratory system, his unique physiology, and his bone structure all require a highly specialized and careful approach from the burn team. Even though they are unquestionably meeting this challenge with expert skill, it is still a challenge. The road ahead is not just physical. It is also mental and emotional. The psychological trauma of such an event, the pain of the procedures, and the disfigurement he may experience will need Zach's tremendous strength and Tori's and his family's unwavering support. Many viewers are wondering why a young family would keep so much cash on hand. It seems counterintuitive in the digital age, but knowing their background gives some hints. Zach and Tori have always followed their own path, leaving the safety of the family business to establish their own brand, which frequently calls for liquid cash for opportunities, sponsorships, book deals, and real estate deals. A documented history of conflict between Zach and his father Matt over business and money on the farm may have contributed to a desire for ultimate financial control and privacy away from joint accounts or scrutiny. It was their money, their security kept their way, a tragic decision in hindsight but an understandable one given their journey. The human spirit wants to help in the face of such loss. Having instant access to capital can be empowering. LPBW community's overwhelming support, with fans posing the question, what can we do? As of right now, the Roloff family has not formally endorsed any GoFundMe or charitable drive, so the best course of action is to wait for an official statement from the family on how they would like to receive support. The most effective thing we can offer them right now is to exercise caution because scammers frequently set up phony fundraising pages to take advantage of people's generosity in the wake of tragedies. The story of Tori and Zach Roloff has always been one of love and resilience. Love for each other, love for their children, and resilience in the face of a world that isn't always made for people of their stature. Today, that resilience is being tested in a way they never could have imagined. They are sending their thoughts, prayers, and well wishes into the universe for Zach's recovery and for strength for Tori and the kids. Dark night. The road ahead is cloaked in suffering and uncertainty, but if we know anything about this family, it is that they have a strong bond. The first act of defiance against this tragedy was Tori's strength today in saving her children, and the second was Zach's battle in that hospital. To Tori, Zach, Jackson, Lila, and Joa, an entire community sees you. We are heartbroken for you. We are praying for you. We are sending Zach all of our strength as he starts this terrible battle. We will be here. LPB Gut. Tori Roloff defies Zach in the latest controversy. And Tori Roloff exposes Zach's shortcomings. Zach and Tori Roloff slammed nasty critics and mid-viral video. And Little People Big World. Another baby for Tori and Zach Roloff. I will explain everything. We are waiting for news and ready to support you in the days and months to come. This is not the end of your story. It is perhaps its most difficult chapter, but we have faith that your love will see you through. As viewers of Little People Big World often see, Tori Roloff, the star of Little People, made a big show out of rejecting her husband Zach Roloff with her most recent bold action. What has she done recently that caused a commotion at home, then? Things take a big turn if Tori takes a girls' trip or leaves Zach alone with the kids for any other reason. Tori Roloff takes great pride in paying attention to even the smallest details, like, while some people are given an early start when it comes to Christmas decorating, Tori Roloff took the initiative and shared the results. For Zach, however, efficiency and finishing tasks as quickly and painlessly as possible are paramount. According to her most recent social media posts, Tori Roloff went wild and did what she wanted. More specifically, she went all out and decorated her house with holiday decor long before Christmas ever arrived. But for real, even though I'm usually a day after Thanksgiving, something about this year has me feeling festive already. Tori Roloff, star of Little People, Big World, shared a short video of her home on social media, showing off all of the Christmas decorations, and said, "Guys, we need to let our ladies know that it's okay to decorate for Christmas before Thanksgiving." Usually have a lot of negative things to say about it, but since Tori chose to embrace the holiday season much earlier than usual this year, this is one of the few Tori posts that has gotten more positive than negative comments online. One commenter on One Little People Big World said, "You do you, girl. I land in a camp, you know. Christmas always seems to go by so quickly, so I strive to make it last as long as possible, especially for my children. This year's Thanksgiving is so late, so we need to maximize decorating." Another respondent stated that it was early. A third party observed, "I think a lot of people are going through that." The well-known personality from Little People Big World, Tori Roloff, publicly criticized Zach Roloff. What did she think of her husband? And how are fans responding to her remarks since they announced their departure from the family TLC show Little People Big World after season 25? It makes us eager for the holidays, and the businesses really push it early. Those who follow Tori or Zach Roloff on social media know that they are often the targets of abuse. Roloff have been busy with their own lives. Many fans, even at that early stage, saw Zach and Tori's departure as the last straw. According to recent updates on Little People, Big World, Amy Roloff finally spoke out about the current situation, saying that there are currently no plans to film any additional sequences from Little People, Big World. Tori Roloff was a recent participant in the Suspect Challenge on TikTok and Instagram, where participants named their partners as suspects and then used the suspects' undesirable behaviors or peculiarities to characterize them. According to the latest news, Tori decided to take matters into her own hands and publicly criticized her husband. What happened next? It turns out that Tori gave Zach his chance to play the suspect role. She said, "Suspect, 34, and still knows to make scrambled eggs and cereal." People who watch Little People, Big World on a daily basis can't help but boast about Zach and Tori Roloff. However, there was a lot of backlash because Tori essentially mocks Zach in front of the public. One commenter asked, who would want their children to grow up believing it's okay if their dad never learned to cook? After 9 years, a third commentator said, "Gee, this is a substantial amount." Another person said, "It would have been really embarrassing for me to share it. Talent is necessary for day-to-day existence. Everything was awful. Oh my God, how horrible for them both." A fourth person said, "How embarrassing too. How in the world is it possible for someone to admit to doing those things?" As the video goes viral, Zach and Tori Roloff take aim at their critics, Little People. Since Tori and Zach Roloff are well-known individuals with large online followings, you can expect a higher level of scrutiny whenever you're in the spotlight and have a sizable fan base like they do. As an example, consider Zach and Tori Roloff. Tori recently made a public statement in response to a video that went viral. Because of this, what did the couple have to say in response to the recent criticism and hostility they endured? More legitimate. Since leaving Little People Big World after season 25, Zach and Tori have been very busy with their new podcast, Rising Heights. As if that weren't enough, the couple also regularly talks about personal matters and has revealed some TLC secrets. Not long ago, the Little People Big World fanbase went crazy for a Zach and Tori social media highlight reel, which has received nearly 68 million views so far. This video is ideal for the whole family and includes 5. Though it's possible to become famous for all the wrong reasons, as any social media user can attest, a lot of people have something unpleasant to say about this video. People went too far in being needlessly nasty, even though a little sarcasm can occasionally be humorous. The commenter stopped reproducing and did their post. Just why? Another person asked those poor students. A third person said, "Bro can." Anyone can see that a comment's likelihood of receiving many likes increases in direct proportion to how nasty it is. In a recent development, Zach and Tori Roloff took off their gloves. The couple talked about the nasty remarks they received after Tori shared this popular video with her family, and they criticized a lot of the criticism that has come their way. Zach Roloff criticized recent comments made by haters, claiming that they were seeking attention. According to him, he is very careful not to respond directly to comments like these. Tori Roloff also shared her thoughts, saying that one cannot control their behavior based on the reactions of others. Despite her status as a social media celebrity, Tori is aware of this pit of evil. Whether you like it or not, Zach and Tori obviously have no trouble handling any amount of criticism or backlash that comes their way as well-known figures in the spotlight. Little People, Big World. Another baby for Tori and Zach Roloff. The Little People, Big World star hinted that she is contemplating having a 4th child. According to her statement, Tori and Zach Roloff are parents to 3 children, Joa, Lila, and Jackson. Many of her fans are now curious as to when she will reveal the news of her 4th child's arrival. Tori wrote, "I don't want another baby over the shot," in reference to a recent Instagram story by the Little People Big World alum and her husband Zach Roloff that suggested the possibility of having another child. One of the pictures she shared showed Lila holding a doll baby in a carrier, appearing to be staring into space while holding the doll in one arm. "My last child is this one. I don't want to have any more children," she went on to respond. "But my goodness, I believe Lila would handle it perfectly if we were to have another." Yeah. People are beginning to question whether the Little People, Big World alum is considering expanding her family of 5 after reading the second part of her message. The birth of their son, Joa, in 2022 sparked a conversation about having more kids. They did leave the door open, as they appear to be leaning toward having more children. In the time frame, Zach Love said, "We're probably done after this." Tori acknowledged that it was challenging to make that statement. After another year, she declared she was done having children, saying, "I'm wondering if there's any chance we can do another one." Josh has been so easy that it's difficult to say, "We're done." Since each of their children was born with dwarfism, they have had to overcome the particular challenges that each of them experienced. Conceiving and bearing a child has been equally difficult for Tori. To term. Her path included a miscarriage and 3 cesarean sections. For what seems like forever, people have been speculating about whether she is pregnant once more. She considered having plastic surgery as a result of that. "I'm thinking, I considered getting a mummy tuck or something because I have a belly, because my body has endured so much." The world-famous small folks were exposed. But at the same time, she continued, "I feel like God sent me 3 beautiful children, and I am filled with thankfulness for the life I've been given. The fact that my body can continue runabout after enduring 3 surgeries to bring 3 babies to term astounds me. Not today." What are your thoughts on today's gossip? Please share your thoughts in the comment section and subscribe to our channel to receive future updates of similar kind. Thank you.